What does that mean? It means a lot of things. But one thing that it means is that in order for us to change our conditions, we must understand the history and the root of those conditions. So in order for us to change the educational system, we must understand that this educational system was created in the 1800s not to help us uplift our community, but it was created in the 1800s to make black, brown, Rasta, Polynesian, Asian, Arab youth pour their blood, sweat, and tears into building this racist country. That's what this education system was meant for. as people determined and ready to be free. So do you guys believe? Yeah! Do you guys believe that we can be free? Are you guys ready to be free? So high school ethnic studies, thank you so much. I hope that you guys all leave here today feeling a little bit empowered, feeling at least a little bit empowered, feeling like you guys leave here with resources and with some connections, but most importantly, with personal responsibility to go back to your schools, to your classrooms, and to your communities.